Let perseverance finish its work, yeah, you keep telling me. Steadily repeated in church, they overwhelming me. Pastor preached to me about the verse and quite compellingly. Cause crime, coin, and plenty of girls is what they selling me. And I don't need no felonies, don't bring no babies up in this house, yeah, you can bet that. Mom's is always holding me down in case of setbacks. Sometimes I fail to respect her crown and I regret that. She queen, never forget that, don't ever disrespect that. Of course I know that my life is more than what I perceive. Of course I know I can have it as long as I believe. Of course I know that society's trying to hinder me, cause they expect me to follow what they consider key. Their symphonies about killing things and stealing dreams that mention things that will print us glee on the holy kings. Acts and gives depiction of God's intentions to intervene. The melody of society's just the devil's dream. Profess, progress, preach, prophesy, and pay your tithes. Focus, focus, never let your place affect your mind. Don't let your flesh be more important than the God you serve. Are you willing to go to hell for what's here on earth? Focus on it, focus on him. Focus on the blessing, know you headed for it. Sin is just a price that I cannot afford. Tell him it's anointing in these metaphors. Man, I look forward to blessings, and it's making me restless. Ain't no time to be resting, too much time I've invested. Got no time for affection, although marriage is destined. I've been hurt for confession, and I've since learned my lesson. Pays an excellent teacher, God wants me to be better. Says I should be a leader, but I can't keep forgetting that the battle is his. I'm just trying to adjust, but all I hear is you're too anxious.
Hello everybody, welcome to another Tina's Tiny Thursdays. Today I thought we'd do some, anything. And I characters too, it will take a minute, but I can tell you the blank, it might not be that bad, but we'll see. As usual, I do animes. I'm going to start off with something from Dragon Ball Z because that's the first anime I ever really got into. And I don't know, something about it makes me nostalgic and feeling most of my childhood and whatnot. It sounds like comic books, I don't really go back and watch it, but you know, kind of does it with the woman fuzzies, just thinking about it, not necessarily watching it, because I never go back and watch Dragon Ball Z. I've seen more parodies of Dragon Ball Z stuff than I have actual Dragon Ball Z, like the last couple years, but what we're doing today, I know I was having like mic issues before, I ordered a new wire, so I apologize if the audio gets all weird and garbled and stuff. I still have to figure out how to navigate things in this new stage, in this new time in my life, so there's probably a couple hairs along the way, but yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Let me pull up these sleeves because I don't want to ruin them because this is a really nice sweater. But I figured we'll go with something on, something that would be kind of recognizable as, I did not put down any white. How am I going to mix or blend any colors? What am I doing? Goodness gracious. Messing up already. There we go. Okay. So first things first, doing like your classic DBZ scene. There's so many wastelands that they would fight in. And so I'm just gonna paint a wasteland and maybe I'll put somebody in there. Maybe, I usually put Goku in these DBZ paintings, but people really like piccolo, so I'm thinking about maybe putting piccolo in this scene instead. Put some darker blues down here. And give it that nice gradient effect. I'm gonna wash this brush and then switch to a smaller brush and something that's in a different shade. I still haven't put out like all my brushes in like an easily accessible manner. And so if you hear jingling of, well, more like clacking of paintbrushes in the bag, that's why. Still trying to work things out. And I'm not the greatest at organizing. Like if someone else comes up with a plan for a way for something to be organized, yeah, I can definitely follow that plan to a T. But if I have to come up with a plan, it's gonna be a terrible plan. There's been so many times where I've structured something in a certain way, and then my sister Sabrina has come behind me and been like, why don't you do this? Or I'm gonna move this. And I'm like, I'm completely fine with that. As a matter of fact, when we're out and about and like shopping, she will pay attention to like the management and the stuff and the people that are working, and she'll think of ways that companies can be run better. And you know, I'm just there and I'm just like, I don't really like shopping, let me just get my items and get out of here. But she's like analyzing productivity of the entire store. Like if I notice, I'm not like completely oblivious to like bad service or anything like that, don't get me wrong, but I'm not just gonna automatically be thinking how people in the stores should be restructured so that it's more productive. I'm thinking, I don't really like this display or something like that. I'm just like, maybe this can be changed or maybe something like that. But I'm not, I'm not that type of person that just automatically is like, how could I be running this company better? I'm like, how could this artwork look better? How could this change? And that's where my mind goes. Different strokes, different folks. for it to be so dark, so I'm trying to lighten it up a little bit, but I'm thinking I should switch brushes because this brush is kind of separating the pixels a little bit. I'm also thinking I maybe chose the wrong brown for this base color. I should have went with raw sienna instead of yellow ochre. Yellow ochre's not even brown, that's a yellow. Gonna switch to a smaller brush so I can have more control over the shapes of the rocks. And get a touch of yellow ochre to put back in here, and just in some spots I don't want to go too crazy with it. I'm gonna put lighten it up a little bit just so it's not complete yellow ochre. I want it to be a highlight, not for it to be like a main color. Actually, I was gonna get some black, but I think I'll just mix this brown with a dark blue for a shadow. Sometimes I like to go deeper into shadows by adding blue instead of going straight into black, because a lot of things aren't pure black in nature. They'll have a little bit of something going on, you know? I'm going for a slight highlight in this blue. So it can really signify that this rock is a separate piece from this one. I'm gonna put, make this a little taller, this edge where this shadow is. And then I'm going to get some of that white and yellow ochre. Some highlights with that. Gonna go in. Hi Kit Kat, how you doing? Gonna go in with some raw sienna and white, and then go on and make our midtones. I'm gonna go back over and make some more shadows, some different shades. Really give the rocks kind of that rough texture. Before I go back and do that rough texture with the rocks, I just want to make sure. Oh, too much water, too much water. Okay, this is why we work on paper towel, guys. So I can easily dab if I need to. Okay, now that there is less moisture on my brush. The sound is really low. Is this better, Katrina? Oh, that went into the red. Let me turn the music down slightly. I've been having troubles with my microphone. So everything is an adjustment lately. Trying to get things settled. But thank you for telling me that the sound was low. Also, I probably just need to talk louder. That would probably solve some issues at least. When I'm thinking things through and working things through, I usually speak in like a lower register. I don't know why that is. It just, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know? Okay, now I'm gonna add back in some of those rock textures. Make sure it's really jagged and sharp and defined. Or at least give the impression of that, you know? That's the goal. And there are clouds in the background. Before I do the clouds, I do want to make the sky look just a little better. Because I feel like, I don't know, it could be better. Adding a little bit of a blue haze to push some of these rock formations back into the, hello Zombo, back into the background. You're just in time, Zombo, for your favorite aura farmer. I'm gonna paint them in white, and then I will adjust and paint over that. Oh, some stuff is gonna get covered up. That's fine. Any editing work? No, not particularly. Peak, you love it already. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just realized I'm gonna need purple for this. My purple is a little wonky. I didn't want you guys to just hear slapping and wonder what was going on in the sidelines, so... Oh, maybe this isn't going to be as difficult as I thought. Okay, never mind. I thought I was going to have to, like, take off the cap and, like, do a bunch of stuff, but that works. Well, you guys got to see my face for free. I'm about to switch to a different music thing because I'm tired of these ads. I'm tired. What do I usually do for music? Where's that at? You said, huh? Oh, because the music, the background music, it's, I was playing a playlist from YouTube, and it kept getting interrupted with YouTube ads, and I was like, this is, where is it? Where's Soundstripe? There we go. Found it. I wonder what social intermission sounds like. Ambient background music for social intermissions during Twitch streaming. Let's see what it sounds like. I know this isn't an intermission, but I just want to. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll give it a try this time. It's like loading screen music. I kind of dig it. And very calming. This green, it's not, this might be the correct green for Piccolo's face. Okay. I feel like that's pretty close. His face, let's get his arms in there. And then the top of his turban is purple. Oh, I probably should have cleaned the green off. Oh, and I went right back into green. This kind of reminds me of the loading screen for the PS2. It just reminds me of it. I'm not saying it's like a one-for-one recreation of it. It just, something about it, with that, I'm not even gonna attempt. Something about it just reminds me of it. The good old days. Back when video games weren't $60, $80. Okay, we gave it a try. We gave it a try. At least now I know what stuff on that thing sounds like. Let's... I think the acoustic was pretty nice last stream. thought I switched it to acoustic. Did I not? Am I crazy? I am crazy. I didn't hit the button. Okay. It's like, this sounds nothing like a guitar. Yeah. We can't hear you, boss. I wasn't saying anything. We can't hear you, boss. I have temporarily switched to my camera being the microphone. Let me know how this sounds if you're still paying attention. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep rambling on about random things. I'm mixing greens together to make darker green. Make the ears stand out against the blue, because the blue is, it was kind of hard to see the ears. And now I'm adding some shadows onto the arms and other places. You said, oh. What was that oh in regards to? I keep forgetting that there's a delay, so I keep asking questions and then, you know, I have to wait for a response. I figured since the background noise disappeared that something went wonky. Oh. No, I was just thinking about colors and whatnot. But let me know how it sounds compared to the microphone coming from the camera versus the mic, because I know things have been weird with the mic last couple streams. trying to make his face, but I don't, it's so small, I don't think I really need to make his face. Why music stop? Huh. Music didn't stop in my headphones just stopped. Your speaker. So it looks like audio is still coming in. There's so many today. I was having trouble before I started streaming. Well, actually, I was trying to do it in like a new setup thing, and then that didn't end up working out. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do things the way I usually do, minus having Bluetooth headphones instead. Okay, it's definitely was a. Okay, my Bluetooth just got wonky. That's what it was. Oh, my pink dried up. I keep meaning to buy another pink like I had before, so I don't have to keep making it all the time. But I always forget. It's like when you go to the store to get like milk, butter, and eggs, and then you forget the eggs. You know what? I don't know if I'm feeling this playlist either. Trying something different, I guess. Oh, there go the headphones again. You know, I think that's good enough. I think people can tell what's going on now. I'm realizing I didn't paint this rock at all, so we're gonna do some funny, quick strokes. I'm gonna throw some green in some spots. Make it look like it's all on purpose. Here we go. Okay, we got Piccolo. Gonna set Piccolo right there. Do I want to do this? This would be so cool, though. Okay, okay. So, what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to make like a Gundam scene, because I don't think that's anything I've ever really done before. So I have a Gundam thing in front of me as a reference that I'm going to attempt. We shall see how it turns out. And also I'm going to see how this sounds on YouTube. And see if I need to adjust anything for you guys. Now that I hear the difference, that's awful. I'm gonna just go back to the other mic. Oh, I did not need to get into white. I needed to get into blues, blacks and blues. So, I don't know if I'll make it this complicated like the image has, but first we're going to start off with making Earth. You can make it nice and round. And then we are going to put in some stuff that looks like land, some stuff that looks like water. No discernible continental stuff, just things that look right, you know? Throwing in some browns in some spots. And we are just trying to get the appearance of like this is Earth. So I think that it's pretty convincing that, you know, this is Earth, there's clouds, there's different shapes, there's mountains, possibly. You know, there's stuff there. Now we are going to attempt to make a Gundam, everybody. This is, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but hey, this is what we got going on in my brain today. Okay, maybe I don't want to do that specific pose. That specific pose is very difficult. Okay, I found a better pose for the Gundam. The other one was like in the middle of some sort of battle, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. Okay, so just gonna try and make some robot anatomy, draw on some stuff. Oh. I don't know why I thought this pose would be easier. I like to challenge myself. That's what it is. I thought about just painting some forests or trees or stuff like that today, and I was like, nah, let's do anime stuff. Let's do complicated robot body parts, everybody. Because that one of the first things I thought about doing was a Gundam scene. So yeah, I planned this. I planned for this to be difficult today, but I think that's fine. It's good to challenge yourself and to try new things, and if I wasn't constantly trying new things, you thinking about my hyperfixations a lot today or something? You know, I guess not on purpose. That's just the way. I don't know. But doing the Gundam thing was one of the first things I thought about, and I thought about painting Goku or Vegeta or somebody, and then I was like, it'd be so much cooler if it was Piccolo. He's so popular. Why don't I have any Piccolo art? Like, it doesn't make sense that I haven't done a Piccolo portrait yet. I remember trying to sketch him out one time, and I made his head look weird, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. That was like 4 years ago or something like that. I could very easily do a Piccolo text portrait and then just be rolling in the dough. Just pick one of his super cool poses and just wait for nerds to start throwing money at me. That's all I gotta do. Is this legging right? I don't know. I might extend this out just a tiny bit. What's the next one? A horse girl? No, I did not plan on doing any horse girls. How about a big muscle mommy, though? Nah, I'm not doing that. At least not today. Maybe I shouldn't have picked a pixelated image to base the poses off of. That would have been smart, but that's not what I did. Did something a little dumb, guys. Who would have thought? Me, of all people, would do something dumb on stream. I definitely think his body is awkward, but I can't quite place what I think is awkward about it. You know, I haven't seen that many Gundam or robot fighting animes. Like, I remember watching them as a kid or watching bits and pieces, but I don't have any like memories of stuff. I went back and watched Full Metal Panic as an adult. I think it was like maybe 20 something. like early 20s. Still don't remember much about it. Code Geass, I guess, had giant robots. They never like got to space though, but I guess not all Gundams need to go to space, but I just feel like I've seen a lot more of other genres of anime, like isekai or shonen. Even slice of life I've seen quite a bit of. I was having a conversation with my sister Christina about Frieren, and she's going through it, and she's like, it's all right, but I don't really, and she doesn't care for the slice of life genre. And she had asked me if I hadn't seen that many slice of life, and I was like, oh, not really. And then I named like 5 off immediately without thinking, and I was like, oh, maybe I have seen quite a bit of slice of life anime. I just thought I didn't. Because when I think about watching anime, I'm thinking about, you know, like fighting or explosions or stuff like that. I'm not thinking about like daily life type stuff, but I have seen quite a few slice of life animes. And that doesn't mean that slice of life animes have to be like boring or anything, because they're are some pretty interesting slice of life animes that like still have action in it, but they're like mainly comedy that I've seen. But yeah, I've seen more slice of life than I have of Gundams. Which is, you know, just fine. There was that one Gundam one that I watched recently. I can't think of the name of it for the life of me. But I watched it with Mom, and it was produced by Netflix. It was like one of those animes that are like capture motion animes. I can't think of it. The name, it has escaped me. Like all of humanity was like on a like one single spaceship, and they had to use Gundams to fight these alien things, and one of the main girls died but sort of became one of the alien things, and the main guy ended up with the alien hybrid human girl. If you think about it, Gundam is a slice of life show. Which Gundam show, though? Requiem for Vengeance. It was ugly. No, it wasn't Requiem for Vengeance. It was... Yeah, Knights of Sidonia, that's what it was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was this one. That's what it was. Yeah, that's the most recent Gundam show that I've watched. I haven't watched a ton of anime as an adult, to be honest. Well, I say as in my late 20s to now 30s, I haven't watched a lot of anime. In my early 20s, I would watch a lot of crap. They still haven't finished that story, I think, in the anime. Really? That's surprising. I did finish Solo Leveling. At least the anime. I have not read any of the manga. I don't know if I want to get caught up in that, because I know there's a lot of it. There's a part of me that wants to get back into reading manga, but there's a larger part of me that looks at the bookshelves of stuff that I already have not read, whether it be language learning books or theology books or manhwas or science fiction books. I'm just like, I can't justify any more book purchases until I read at least 3 more books. So I've been trying to be more mindful about like actually sitting down and reading books that I have purchased, so I can purchase more books in the future and not feel bad about it. But also it gives me a chance to rest my hands and, you know, relax for once. Okay, I just looked it up. It did get finished, but it was in a movie I'd never seen, so that's why I forgot. Didn't we watch the movie together? The 2021 film? I'm pretty sure that we watched that movie together. Apparently he gets married to the alien girl and they have a kid. Yeah, we watched that movie together, Zamboni. And after the movie ended, we talked about how weird it was, you know, that he got married and had the kid, and how, and about, like, other couples that got together in the movie. You completely forgot. Well, I remembered. Okay, I'm trying to redraw this torso because it did not look great. Yeah. Yeah, poor girl. Got beat out by an alien. Yeah, that movie, that show was weird. I mean, it's not the weirdest anime I've ever seen, but just thinking some of the logistics of it was just like, this is weird. I mean, I get that most of, you know, they breed most of the population as hermaphrodites, depending on what was needed for the rest of the population. Like, I get that conceptually, but just like seeing it play out and weird. Man, I'll be glad when they finish the construction a couple doors down. Because I keep hearing like metal clanking and it automatically makes me think of the first Resident Evil movie. When they were after they had turned on everything and opened up the doors, and then you just hear metal clanking in the background, and then it's like zombies like dragging pipes and like other things to attack people with. When you gonna let me show you the OG Gundam? I can carve out some time, she said unconvincingly. We gotta get you ready to see the new Hathaway movie that comes out next-ish year. It's either December or next year. What do you mean by Hathaway movie? Only Hathaway I know is Anne Hathaway from The Princess Diaries and Batman and some other things. Hathaway's Flash is the title of the new Gundam movies. Okay. There's 3 and they take place after all of those series I just listed. Oh, so this is a lot of homework. Dude, we never even finished Baldur's Gate. You want to add on a whole Gundam series and movies? They are adaptations of manga, but I really like it because the animation is great and it features deep connections to important characters and has excellent design all around. That sounds nice. Yes, the yes to adding all this stuff when we haven't finished the game, okay. Maybe when I beat the first boss, the first mini boss, and in Sekiro, then we can do something. Because I keep trying and I keep failing, and you know, my computer's a potato. Okay, I think this gun arm looks better than it did before. Can't say how I feel about the legs because they're awful. I guess that I said how I feel about it. I watched all that stuff in like a month and had to watch on my phone going to the library because I didn't have internet at the apartment yet. Oh. We got all the rest of the year to watch. Okay. don't think it's terrible. Like it started off. I think it's getting form and shape and I knew this one would take a long time though. But good news, moving to a different spot in the office really helped with the whole no longer dying from being cold. Because I'm no longer near my wire wall. I am near my wall of minis. This isn't even half of them, I don't think. There's so many. Because there's like there's 3 rows of 6, and then there's 12 things. And I think that's like, yeah, that's math right there. That's math. Let's see what math is. Because there's 18 times 12, not plus, times, which means 16 of them. I have at least another 100. Yeah, I have so many. Not nearly as many as I had made, but still, it's fun. Which I'm glad that there's a lot, which means I have a lot of product to sell. If I didn't have a lot, I'd be freaking out about needing to paint something every day. I am gonna have to start thinking and planning out for the 2026 calendar, though. Making minis specifically for the calendar. I mean, that's going to be a fun project to revisit. And to anyone that is local that might be watching this on the replay, I don't know why I say it like that. Anyone anyone that is local, you do now have the option to buy online, pick up in store. So you can pick up directly from the studio if you're local instead of having to pay for shipping. Or maybe if you just want to drive across the country to get it from me in person, you guys can do that too. That's a little overzealous, but I appreciate the efforts. But yeah, local pickup is now a thing. Definitely think I need to deepen some shadows in some parts, but I think it's looking pretty good. I was concerned at first, but I think this looks pretty dang good for the amount of time that I'm willing to spend on it. Uh-oh. Why are you saying uh-oh? They just greenlit an Assassin's Creed show, and it's being produced by the showrunner of Halo, and it's for Netflix. Okay. I wish Netflix would just, like, stick with original content instead of getting like existing IPs. It's just, you know, like Netflix expectations of especially stuff that I'm down. I do want to check out the actual live action, but I don't know, live action stuff is so hit or miss. I saw that they were doing a live action of Soul Leveling. I was like, why? But usually do that. Although there were some things that I've seen adapted that were Korean, I was like, okay, what do you like that? Like, there's this one I read called Sweet Home, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the series so much that I asked for the manga in Korean for Christmas, and I have the first 3 volumes like that. The first 3. Sometimes I just want to show us and try to read. I pick those up, and I was like, okay, I am so rusty. I'm Korean, so rusty. And at the same time, the Netflix show was coming out. The creator of the comic had put out a prequel of Collision. Okay. I'll take it off my face. it glitches less when my face isn't there. And there's something about running the double cameras now that my computer just does not like. But there were things that I liked about it, about the adaptation, but story-wise, there were a lot of things that were changed. There was a character whose gender was flipped and who's, instead of being a buff firefighter, it was now a female buff cop. But she's like still really, she was really tiny, really skinny, but she was, buff for a tiny Korean woman. And then in the second season, there was things with her and like a weird monster baby pregnancy, and I don't know. I wish they would have stuck to the manhwa and because I forgot about this. I started saying this and completely forgot about it. There was a prequel called Shotgun Boy to Sweet Home that was being released on Webtoon the same time that the Netflix show was premiering. And so I thought maybe the story would follow some more of like the stuff that was happening in the prequel, like when the season 2 came out, and then it just was not. And I was like, okay, well, we're doing our own thing. But yeah, Netflix, I don't know, I feel like if they're not doing a K-drama or something that was like pitched specifically for Netflix, then it's the hot dog doo-doo water, But yeah, odds are that the show is gonna be doo-doo, but they won't even wear a white hood or jump from high place. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. They're probably gonna take a lot of the action out and it just be a lot of social, political commentary. Not that the games don't have social and political commentary, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying they're probably going to sacrifice action and mechanics of the games and just focus on the more political aspects of the stuff. The more social commentary stuff is probably what the show's mainly going to be focused on. Daredevil was like the only like Netflix thing that I can think of where it was an existing IP that was just like peak television. I'm looking at this image and I'm like, where's the Gundam's other arm? I guess it's just like, I don't know, you just can't see it in the image. I'm just making sure that I'm not crazy. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm satisfied with these. I think they're cool. And I don't want to start another painting. At least not now.
But yeah, I think these are cool. They turned out nice.
I'm gonna cut my face for a little bit so we can close out. But thanks to everybody that was watching or will watch this back. I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy lives to watch me paint and ramble about television. But yeah.